Okay.
This is how we're starting it, huh?
Colt is my fave.
Colty?
Colt
Are
is
you
my
hooked?
fave.
That's what I want to
We're
know.
talking 90
I'm
Day
interested.
Fiance, everybody.
I'm interested. Because, you know,
Rob
think about
won.
it. I got, like, shot out of a cannon. Like, there was no, like, I'm like, this is what's been happening to these. I am not interested at all in the older lady and, like, at all.
And the
like,
Nigerian guy?
Not at all. Like, she is so rude. Mm-hmm. And all the children and, like, pissed at him in FaceTime, like, and then calling him back. Like, I don't care to see that one again. But Colt, I just feel like at this point, I feel like they're like feeding him lines to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's not
they're
authentic.
producing him big time.
Second,
But
I
he's
feel
like
like they
that
were
all the
like,
time.
hey, Colt, so we've got a bunch of other Brazilian girls you could marry. Like, you want to do it again? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and this one likes cats and's down to fuck. Like, that's literally, and my favorite moment
He's
of
like,
the whole
I
time.
like having the sex too.
When she showed her cat tattoo, but second, when she was chugging the beer and then,
Yeah.
and then it spilled.
Yeah, it was
down
right
her face
after.
and her-
If you ever offer sex to somebody on a date and their next move is to chug their 20-ounce glass of beer,
they're down.
and to the point where it's dripping down.
Well, that's not normal first date shit?
Oh, you want to have sex?
It's been a minute. Since
Yeah,
I've
give me a
dated.
second.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
no,
it drip-
she's like this. She pops a
Oh,
fucking...
yeah.
I love Colt. I love you.
What? Okay, so
I'm
I
in love with
texted.
Colt.
I
I know, like,
Rob
poopy.
this. I was like,
Colty.
who's teaching these Brazilians English, and are they gone for half the classes? Because they are.
They're
the
just
English
getting by.
from there
They got
is-
what they need to get by, which is
Oof.
sex. I love you.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit I can say, right? I don't know Brazil. I don't know an ounce of
Portuguese.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's how little I know. Is
Don't
that
worry
they
about it,
speak
kid.
Portuguese there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but we refer to it
What do
as
you
a
think they
Brazilian
speak there?
Brazilian wax and a Brazilian butt, but it's not as Portuguese as the language.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Portuguese that they're speaking is so funny, and I don't understand how Larissa, the original wife, says Colty.
I'm so glad though that they're still following her life.
Oh, you have to. Dude,
What about her
what did
friends?
she do to
that's
her
like
face?
her girlfriend. That's like, I've been engaged 14 times, girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And they all have
What's
this
your
eye.
story?
They have an eye thing.
Oh,
You know what I think that is?
meth.
No, I think these girls wear too heavy of eyelashes, and they can't
Very true.
By the way, not after a half hour, but after 8 hours of that, I think they just like can't keep their eyes open anymore. I think they're struggling.
I think you're right.
I think that's what's
I think
going
you're
on.
right.
They're so heavy. The amount of
So
makeup,
heavily lashed.
so heavily made up, and just
So all the money she made from the show just went right into her face.
And
they
her
just-
dad, didn't she FaceTime him for $5,000?
yeah.
One of my kids walked in the room at that point. I didn't get to see what happened. What happened?
She's just like.
Did he say yes or no?
Well, the great thing is she goes, in the last 6 months, I've gotten my cheeks done, my chin done, my nose done, this. And then
butt?
she's like, but I want to get more money so I could get my nose done and my cheeks done. And she just wants to like,
Her boobies.
and she wants to, and then they show like her like ass cheeks hanging out of the bottom of the shorts when she's walking into the class. Oh, you guys got a 90 Day Fiance. Happily
There's
ever after.
800 spin-offs. I had to screenshot it and send it to
There's
Rob and be like, which one do
yeah.
I watch?
Yeah, and I'm like, make sure you don't watch
The
wrong one.
other way? Like, what's the
When
other
I
way?
search for it on the TiVo, it takes like 30 seconds for the results to come up.
Yeah.
There's so many programs. I'm a little bit conservative. I was raised Catholic. Dude.
Yeah, she was like, I was raised a Catholic.
Oh,
And
unreal.
then the other thing she said is her girlfriend's like, well, would you be into going on a blind date? And she's like, what's that?
Yeah.
She just sometimes she looks like she's blind. Like she just kind of stares off into space. She's like, what's that? And the girl says, it's where, you go on a date with a guy, but you don't know him and this. And she's like, okay. And then they show her in the interview, and she's like, I don't care if the guy's blind. Like, she's like, I need to find him. Oh, you haven't got to the second episode. It's so fucking funny. And then the girl goes to her, well, this guy, like, he's really cool, and he's into wine, so, like, he's really fancy. She's like, I want. I'm going to send you this clip. Guys, just please, if you like this show, I'd be floored.
Well,
if
tell
you
them
like
what-
this podcast.
We're talking about 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, the
Not
newest
the other
season.
way.
Newest season.
Not
I
the
think
other way,
it's-
which we've talked about.
What
the
is
other
the
way.
other way?
The other
when
way
they go
is
to the other country.
the other
Right.
way is the
Okay.
one where the
That's the
girl's
Jordan?
dating the Jordanian.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So
which is,
that's
by the way-
I feel like I need to check that one out.
It's
You
not
have
good.
to. No,
It's not
yeah,
good.
I've only seen the first two, but I'm
It's
tuning
not
in
good.
every
It's not
episode
good.
just for that storyline, and I'll watch just that
the
bit.
crews overseas aren't as good as the American ones.
Yeah,
the
well,
producers.
it's just like there's storylines that are kind. You could feel it's like really heavily produced. You know what I think? It's like the crazier the people are on reality shows, the less producing the producers do.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, we tell them to do something, but their natural shit is crazier than what we tell them to
You
do.
know what I watched last night? So Bravo is not putting out new Housewife episodes right now, so they're doing rewatches with other housewives, but sometimes they're watching other like cities. So last night I watched Sonia and Luann watch a old Beverly Hills one.
They're New York housewives
Yes.
watching a Beverly Hills.
Sonia
Man.
is the best.
Yeah.
She is. I've realized after watching, I was like, she is my favorite housewife of all time.
Yeah. This woman is.
But
crazy.
she's sweet. I mean, she's had moments of being like catty about like Leah's sister and whatever. Like that wasn't necessary, but like she's my favorite. She hands down. Like I just realized it.
Okay, you just reminded me of something. Do you have those two clips? You have those two clips ready? Okay, so what we're gonna do right now
What's happening?
for the first time?
This
me
is
and
producer Rob.
I feel like you're staring at the fact that I really need to like groom my face. By the way,
No.
like, I need to like pluck
No,
my
no.
eyebrows. And,
I
like,
love your
shave
face,
my face
and I like to
stuff.
look at all of it.
Okay.
So if
like
you see
I have
me
like
wandering-
I have nothing on my face
No.
right now. I was just swimming with my kids. Like
No.
okay.
You look great.
No,
You look great. Me
I was
and
just
you
fishing for that.
have always gotten along very well. We've never battled, but we're gonna battle right now.
You and me.
Yeah. So we're gonna
It's about time.
yeah. First, we're just gonna listen to this, and then we're gonna count them, and we're gonna see who wins. Can you play mine first? I want to see who says like more in 10 seconds.
That's what we're listening for.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Shit.
I
Okay.
should have said that in the
fuck.
beginning, I guess.
I was like, am I supposed to guess what we're talking about?
Well,
So I can do
I assume
that.
that's what was going on.
Right.
Oh,
so
shit.
just
Okay.
But-
play
no.
play Jamie's again and listen for the likes. It's so fucking it's so
It's so
good,
bad.
Jamie.
Oh,
But
God.
you're guilty of it too.
That's why I have
I'm
a clip of me doing
so
it.
embarrassed. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Jamie.
Without cash, there's nothing that they can do. Like
Well, I watched-
they can't book acts. Like they don't like their type of business has no foreseeable future right now, and it's devastating. And I just like these like places like the Troubadour, like they may never open again, and that was at least 9. I'm probably below. I mean, that was.
It's hard. It's hard to even notice it. No, it's,
See, but I like
fine.
Kassem also, like he was saying last week. I enjoy it. I do. I like it. Like,
I
No,
like
it's
it. It's the way you
terrible.
talk.
It's terrible.
Okay, you got 9. Let's play mine back and see. And by the way, there's an honorable
Yours
mention.
is 5 or 6.
There's an honorable mention of Cass at the end of this throws one in. So I'm just saying.
I'm not immune. I've been known to throw a like in there.
And here's Rob's again.
One woman is like has these fake companies and she's selling
It's
us that,
terrible.
and then she's like, "Oh, you have tattoos?" And this girl has like a little tattoo on like her leg or like like nothing crazy. And they're literally they sit together and they're all like, "We shouldn't hang out with her."
That's so funny.
It's crazy.
Meanwhile, they have like Botox in their lips.
Cass
that's
threw one
so
in there.
funny.
Yeah.
Well, look, are you doing and saying this because you want to get better at not saying like as often, or what's
You
your
know
goal
what?
here?
I just think it's
would,
fun.
But at the same time, I've like recently come into this place where I am like I just realized
It's
I
hard.
have to say like
Our podcast is going to suffer if you guys are going to be self-conscious.
I'm
about
not. I'm gonna say it.
I realized recently that I was thinking I want to start speaking more like where I'm from.
Good.
I'm like, you know what? I have tried so hard to get rid of my Long Island accent.
Jamie was
Fuck
born in
it.
Likesville.
Like, I want to talk like
You
where I'm
can't-
from.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like it's been coming through a lot more. But if you want to shut me
Dude,
up,
this
we can talk
one-
about our sponsor here.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah, let's do it.
Braddock, because the debate's over. You got to wear a face mask wherever you are.
Last week we talked about Braddock USA sent us some daily face coverings. They're made out of upcycled jersey T-shirt. They're
Breathable.
softer. They're breathable.
And they're
I just
produced
watched
in the
this one.
USA.
They're made in the USA, not in China. And look, they just came out with, what do we call this?
Face covers.
This is a
It's like a pullover.
Yeah, it's some sort of pullover, but it doubles as a face mask and a headband.
And a neck cover.
Show them. Now, this is what Jamie's doing here. She's sporting our Outlaw Renegade look from Braddock USA. Now, go ahead and give us the other look. Okay, now this is the Silent Hill, almost sort of Watchmen-esque.
This is Rob's
mask.
dream girl look.
Yeah. And then what she's going to go ahead and do now, she's going to pull it up, and we're going to do a sort of headband.
Wow, Coachella-esque, might I?
Yeah, flower child headband.
Braddock scarf.
Yes.
The Braddock scarves.
There's so many different ways you can wear this. It's cool because it's they have washable, but they also have
Super
all these
soft.
great designs. One of the first masks that I saw that I would be like, oh yeah, I don't feel corny wearing this.
No, and tie-dye super in. Great patterns.
Very breathable, very comfortable. They're washable, reusable.
So 20% off your entire order, you guys, at BraddockUSA.com, BRADDOCK USA. Promo code PJ Pants.
And support the people that support the show. Yeah.
You know, Kassem joined the club yesterday that, Jamie, you're part of, but I'm not. And it's thinking the podcast was on a day that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Did you go pick him up yesterday?
I went to go pick up Rob yesterday and did the whole thing where I sent him my ETA location that you can do in the maps, then texted him here when I got there. And then I was like on the phone texting and, I was like, oh yeah, sometimes he takes a while, maybe a couple times.
Oh my God.
Couple times he's
this
taken.
guy's such a liar.
A couple times
Rob's
he's taken
never
up to
late.
15
Such
minutes.
a liar.
And so I was like, oh, he's probably just having a rough one. Maybe he's pooping again. And then
But you never have zero contact with me before I come downstairs.
I know. That's why I had a red flag. And after about 10 minutes, I realized I went back through our text chain and realized I was there on the wrong day.
I was
Did
sleeping.
you guys hang out?
I was sleeping.
No, he was asleep.
How angry?
It was 12.
Noon.
Yeah. How angry did you get, like, when you were like, hey, like, I'm downstairs, and then Waylon, you were like, here, and then, like, it was like 15 minutes, and you were like, hello? Like,
No, I was like, I really wasn't.
Okay.
Because I did have to take that phone call, and I was texting and I had a phone call, and there was like all this stuff that was keeping me distracted. But then I got embarrassed, and I sent him a text like, oh dude, I'm so sorry, like I screwed up the days, and I just assumed he was asleep, and then I drove home kind of excited that I had the afternoon to go
for
play The
sure.
Last of Us, because I've been playing The Last of Us.
What's The Last of Us?
It's a video game.
he's addicted.
It's like a zombie-based sort of thriller drama, and it's a sequel to like one of the most successful video games on PlayStation of all time, and I've sunk some hours into it this last week. So it's been good, and I've had time to really close the doors, windows, shut off the lights, and spook myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's an experience.
Yeah, I don't know if you're really into games, because I think the only thing that you're exposed to is like Roblox and
You
things
know
like
what,
this.
though?
but-
I've kind of gotten into Roblox. I have it on my phone
What?
because Bo... One time, I just sat with him the other day because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let me
Can
do
you
this with
explain to people what Roblox is?
It's basically, you can have friends, and there's like hundreds of games you can play within this world of Roblox. You know what I mean? There's a hockey one, a paintball one, and I personally like all the tycoon ones because you have to just jump on an ATM, and the longer you put in the time, the more money you get, and then you can build things like an airport, and then you can build lights, and then when you run out of money, you go jump again. But the more time you invest in jumping, then when you return after spending your money, you start with more. So after a while, I was coming back and starting with 100K. So I was getting portals to China and shit, and I got into it for a night. And to the point where Bo was like, "Can I have a turn?" And I'm like, "No, wait, Bo. I want to build out the deck."
You're like, shut up, go watch The Housewives. We're switching
Yeah.
places today.
Sometimes he's come in, he's like, "Are you watching that show where the ladies yell at each other again?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oof.
Yeah. So okay, I mean, you have a little bit of it in you there.
Oh,
You know.
did I never tell you about the time, 13 years ago, where I was addicted to Tiger Woods?
Oh, the golf game.
And I would
yeah.
You
chain
did.
smoke American spirits and just fucking rip through hours of Tiger Woods.
So you
It
could've-
sounds like you just described my
dark-
perfect woman.
It was a dark time, you guys. I was single in a little apartment in LA, ripping through a pack of cigarettes,
Blasting
and playing
'em.
video games.
See, to me, it sounds like she described a 300-pound grandma on 90 Day Fiance, and that's how she started. Like one day she was 26, like grabbed a pack of cigarettes. I was like, I'm just gonna try this video game, and now cut to, she mistaken. What was it? She thought her tumor was an egg, so she could have a baby. What was the clip you sent me?
Oh yeah.
I can't believe she actually thinks she can have a baby.
She's
Oh,
like,
she's
that's
convinced.
a baby. She's
Because
like,
she's getting her
that's your
period?
intestines.
Yeah.
There's something about, and I don't want my partner to smoke, but I've also dated girls that smoked, so it's not a huge deal for me. And they eventually
terrible
stopped
habit.
because I beat it out of them. But when I first see a woman smoking, I'm kidding. There's a part of me that goes, oh, that girl
verbally.
fucks. Like that girl
Oh.
is more.
That's the
there's
vibe you
something.
get
Yeah, I think that girl coughs.
That there's something more like, oh, that girl's more of a risk taker. She's more likely to give blowjobs.
wild.
She will be more likely to do a one-night stand. There's something about that.
Bad
I think
girl.
I'm honing in on some sort of.
Fantasy in your video
She likes
games?
things in her mouth. That's what you're.
There's
right?
there's
Oral
something there,
fixation.
and I don't know if I'm alone in that. But I can, if I often see a girl, when I used to go to bars, when I would see a girl that was smoking, and there was a time when I smoked, I would go, do that thing where like, hey, you got a lighter, you got a
Oh,
cigarette. And
great conversation.
great conversation starter. And look, I had more success, I'd say, with smokers than not. But none of those relationships ever lasted.
Well, think about like the stereotypical girl in like the movie or a TV show, like the bad girl. She's
Yeah.
always ripping a heater.
Yeah, there's just something kind of dangerous and cool about it that I like.
But see,
You
when
know,
I was,
I don't like the taste. I don't like the smell.
If I literally take a drag of a cigarette, like my entire body goes weak and I
Oh yeah.
literally fall to a puddle on the floor.
You have to sit down if you're
I'm
not a
like,
smoker and you
"Ugh."
smoke. You have to like sit down afterwards.
the first cigarette I ever smoked, I was like 11. I smoked a Marlboro Red. I almost fell through a bookcase.
Oh, I'm sure.
Seriously, like I remember like standing, and it was after I was drinking too. I must have been, because I started drinking when I was like 12, so maybe I was 12 because I did both. My mom always told me if you smoke a cigarette, you'll die. So I smoked weed before I ever
thanks,
smoked a
Mom.
cigarette. Yeah. And because I have asthma, so she's like, "Oh, if you ever smoke a cigarette, you'll die." And then I remember like being 12 or 13. I remember standing in my friend's place, and I had like a beer in my hand, and I had the cigarette, and I was like, "You know what? If I'm gonna die, like, this is it. Like, this
Yeah,
is how we're
do it
going
like a
out."
man.
Yeah, do it with a Marlboro Red. And I took a pull, and I like held it in because I had only smoked weed, so I'm like holding it in. And all of a sudden, I was like, and I just like fell back into a bookcase. Like a book fell over on me. It
Oh
was,
jeez, dude.
yeah, it was.
I gotta tell you, when I smoked and I got up in the morning and I had that first cup of coffee and that first cigarette, I turned into a shit factory. I would take a shit instantly.
Yeah,
And I'd just
sure.
get that morning buzz, you know.
yeah.
And now it's the coffee that I lean into a lot in the morning that gets me out of bed.
The
But
thought of a cigarette.
yeah, but also there's part of me that's like, oh, it's kind of fun. But it became all I would think about. So everything you do throughout your day it revolves around
When you can have a cigarette.
Yeah, and you know what the other rough part was when you go out somewhere, you have to find the smoking area, and you have to like constantly be thinking about where can I smoke, where can I smoke, where can I smoke. And then it became like an anxiety that I would have when people would be like, yeah, let's go, we're going to go out to dinner, we're going to go out to eat. First thing I would think about was parking. And then second thing I would think about was where am I going to be able to smoke at that place? You know, and it kept me inside more than if you were just to be like, hey, let's go out right
I
now.
felt like I made more friends when I was smoking too, especially on Sopranos, because I never smoked. I was like the goody two shoes girl. And then one year when I went through my divorce, I smoked cigarettes, and I would like go to smoke, and like everyone was there.
Yeah, 'cause
And I'm
everybody was like,
this is
"Oh."
everywhere everybody is.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Jamie fucks." you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Well, she
So,
did,
Yeah.
dude.
Now I know what they were saying about me.
Yeah.
Jamie gets down now.
Jamie fucks. You wait. So you think girls? You were like girl. You like girls who smoke cigarettes.
They're more likely to fuck.
But blowjobs, especially, you said.
Yeah.
And you said, I remember you said
I don't
last
have
week,
any data to back that up except
I believe
my own.
I believe
personal-
you. I'm going to
Yeah,
trust you on
please.
that. Yeah. Last week you said that Lindsay, your girlfriend, gave you a blowjob, and then, but you were like, oh, but we had a conversation about how she doesn't like to do it, and then it hit me like when I got home. I'm like, where does that conversation happen compared to
Like,
is
when
that
did it
before
happen?
the blowjob? She's like, I really hate doing this, and you're like, just suck it, shut up.
No, it's never right before. It's always like
Right after?
In the,
Ugh.
no, it's in
Mid? She's like,
betweens. It's in between moments where it's
oh my god, that's horrible.
I have a question you might know the answer to. Cutter is like so excited for this weekend. We're going away for 2 nights. Just
dude,
us.
suck 'em dry. Milk the man.
He somehow thinks that he could possibly slip me a Viagra.
Slip you a Viagra?
Yeah.
Or a slip.
Because he's like, Jamie, you got to get your head right. Like this is happening all weekend. Like
No, but they have
nonstop.
female Viagra.
But he was like, because he has one. I guess he has one for not that he needs it. And he's like,
Oh, I got a couple
I
Blue
wonder if I could
Chews.
give it to you. And I'm like, I don't want it.
What if it made your clitoris stand up to have a little mini boner?
That's what I think he's hoping for.
What if it made your clit swell?
Clit stand up.
Well, that's what they have those like pumps for, right?
They have pumps for those?
Pussy
Yeah.
pumps.
What?
Yeah. Well, do you know the vibrator
I've
that
never
Jamie?
used one, but I know about it.
Because some people use like a regular vibrator or whatever. The vibrator or the sex thing that Jamie uses is strictly a clit sucker.
What?
That's a good hey, you fucking clit sucker. That's a new
Oh
one.
my
It's
god.
called the womanizer.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's strictly when she brought it up before. You guys were like in a conversation or something. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, it's just like a little
Vacuum.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine what that would be like trying to suck off a Mike and Ike or something. It's something. Wow. Now, when I've used a penis pump on myself,
Really?
It's well, everyone.
Everyone? What?
Everyone has. I remember in high school we
Bryce?
bought one. We went to the
Bryce instantly.
Bryce doesn't need one. Have you seen the size of his hands? We went to the sex store. We bought one. Me and my 5 high school friends went back to my friend Jeff's house, and then we all took turns pumping up.
Oh God, Corona.
Talk about Corona.
I think I went third or something. And you can kind of see the sweat, the condensation on the inside of it, and then you could also see where people's the heads were touching. So you kind of got an idea how big your friends were. But the pressure.
Jamie's nauseous.
created-
She might need that Viagra.
I'm really nauseous
She's not
right
trying to
now.
fuck at all
Here's
anymore.
what
You
I'm
gotta start smoking again.
Here's what I'm
I
saying.
need a bag of cigarettes for this.
I'm going to turn this very homosexual
Somebody get her Tiger
conversation.
Woods.
The pressure that it put on my penis was not erotic, and it did
It
not
hurt.
feel good. And I got to imagine if you're pumping up your own puss, that's got to be a similar
I've never
feeling,
done
and
it.
it's
I don't
not.
know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Hey,
be
hit me
surprised
in the
if-
DMs if you and 5 of your best buds ever just decided to get a pump on, one afternoon.
What-
I can't be the only one.
You know what, Jamie? To do the podcast, Jamie needs that stuff people take before they usually get on a boat. What is that like?
Oh, Dramamine.
Dramamine?
Dramamine for when fucking Cass is gonna come out with some of his cock pumping stories.
Do I make you sick, Jamie?
Just that story. That's
Well,
the only
I'm being
time you've ever
honest.
made me legit nauseous.
I'm being honest, and then I made sure to wipe it down after I used it. It creates a
don't wanna
wonderful
talk- I actually
condensation.
don't wanna
It's
talk
mini
about it
ecosystem
anymore.
in there.
All right, go ahead and read an email. That's
No,
what
we'll
you're-
talk after.
that's what
I got you.
Oh, I love this title.
Over lunch.
Not a Sopranos fan or a Kassem fan, but still found love for the show.
Yeah.
Look, that's one of the best compliments.
I asked for
think
that
we
last
can
week.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause they don't have any idea who I am,
or
who
us.
you are, and
Love
then they
it.
just found.
Wow, you summed that
Yes.
up perfectly.
Well, okay. Can I just talk? Can I
Wow.
talk?
She's gonna tell us how she
could
found
really
us.
sum shit up.
Ready?
We got to talk about Rob. Okay, Rob's gonna get a car. That's gonna be.
I think I'm gonna get a car.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Then I could come hang out.
This is huge.
I know.
Whoa.
And Teslas drive themselves.
Should
so
I
might
even
go get
read
a
the
Tesla.
email, or should we?
No,
talking
read the
about
email.
this?
Yeah, we'll
Go
read
ahead.
All right, when we need a break from emails.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just listening to your 90 Day Fiancé episode and wanted to shoot a message saying I've never watched The Sopranos. Real travesty as a 100% Italian who lives in New Jersey. And no clue who Kassem was before picking up the podcast. I actually started listening after Jamie-Lynn Sigler was on the Inside of You podcast. She was really great on that podcast, and I wanted to keep hearing about all the real-life mom-wife issues. Cool. I like listening to podcasts when I ride my bike indoors, and yours keeps me entertained through hours of sweaty workouts. Not enough fans in the world to make indoor biking fun. Anyway,
You must have a big house.
Keep putting out all the great content. Rob has been crapping me up about his trashy TV obsession. From Kara, Jersey City. Thanks, Kara.
I'm glad somebody
Kara.
likes it.
How's that right? Push it, Kara.
Yeah.
I
Push
think
it.
you guys
Yeah,
need to
Kara, come on.
Do it. A little more
attach your
turns to the
Instagram
right.
handles on every single one of these. I need to go through them.
The finish line's right around the corner, Kara.
It's right here. We can find it.
I gotta admit, I hate when somebody has a fucking name where it's like, oh, Kara, and then if you say Kara, they get upset or like any kind of thing. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's just.
Well, now I'm all self-conscious I said it wrong.
No, but let's say it's like Andrea and like, oh, it's Andrea. But like, I know some people who don't care, which that's fine. But like, I know some people who get mad.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's, if you were, it's not your decision on what you were named, but if your parents gave you a name that can go either way,
Yep.
Just accept
if
it.
somebody says it one way, just be like, yeah. You know how many fucking different ways I've heard my name said? And then every time I go, close enough, I just say close enough.
Yeah.
I've said close enough after somebody has said my name more than anyone in the world must, and it's
Yeah.
just like, look, dude, you get points for trying. Thanks for attempting. If you want me to tell you how it's pronounced, great. If not, let's just like move on into the rest of this conversation.
Right.
People add like phantom S's into my name all the time. Everywhere I go. Like, Robert Isler. And then they see, I look, it says Iler. And people, and no other letters they never say like Ibler. But people always say, Isler. Like, I know that's me.
When I worked at Best Buy, I would answer the phone and I would say, "Thank you for calling Best Buy Thousand Oaks. How can I help you? My name's Kassem." Or is that what man? Welcome to Best Buy Thousand Oaks. My name is Kassem. How can I help you? And then they always go, "Scott." And I'm like, where are they getting? It happens so often. I was like, where are they getting Scott? And I have to go through, welcome to Best Buy Thousand Oaks. How can I help you? My name's Kassem. My name's Ska. My name's Ska. My name's Ska. And that's where I got it from. And that's like, they refuse
Hey, how's it going,
to
Scotty?
Imagine, by the way, imagine what Cutter gets when he has to say his name.
Cuter.
Cutter? Butter?
Yeah. But imagine somebody who's never heard the name Kassem before. Now their
Scott.
brain hears Kassem, but their brain is trying to assemble it and connect it to any other name. Right. And all I had was one syllable, the Kassem,
Right.
scat. The brain does this like mathematical.
multiple times?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it happened all the time. And I was like,
should've just been like,
where
yeah.
am I saying Scott? And it just happened to be just that one syllable, and I just have to
That's
think
so
people's
funny.
brains are making the connection like, well, Kassem's not a name, so you know what is a name? Scott. And I almost heard that. I heard half of that.
I've told you before,
So good.
comedians work so hard on making jokes and this, and I've said to you, one of the hardest I ever laughed was Tracy Morgan did a character, Brian Fellows,
Yeah.
on Saturday Night Live, and he's like stupid, and he's never really paying attention to what's going on. And there's a girl next to him, and she has a cage with a spider in it or something. And he's like, who are you? And she's like, oh, I'm the. Or he's like, what's your name or whatever? And she's like, I'm Sarah from the the Great Zoo in Santa Barbara. And he's like, welcome, Barbara. And that for me was one of the hardest I ever laughed in my.
What's wrong with your dog?
Oh, he's like, somebody brings out a miniature horse, and he's like, I want to see that dog catch a frisbee, and they're like, it's a horse. Like they have to keep. Oh, it's one of my favorite SNL
I remember
skits.
Edie used to love that one too. She would do that one with us all the time. And once
so funny.
30 Rock filmed at the same sound stage as Sopranos in the end, and so sometimes we would like pass him. I remember he was in the elevator one time, the same as us. We were together, and he was wearing like the red leather jacket that he wore on the show, and I was like,
Yeah, he used to hang out at Sway, the place we used to
That's
go
right.
all the time.
You know that
He's
Tina
awesome.
Fey just pulled some of their episodes where they did blackface. Have you heard about this?
So now she's not racist anymore?
Well, I think it's fine. What's been happening lately is people are pulling episodes like where they have blackface. Actors or comedians that play roles that where they're playing an African American, like Jenny Slate on Big Mouth plays an African American. She pulled out of the thing. I think Kristen Bell pulled out of a role.
Thing.
So I for one think that's great. If you want to make more room for African American people of color to have those roles, because it's like if you're gonna play somebody who's African American, why not have an African American? But then it starts treading on this like, where actors, when they did the whole thing with Scarlett Johansson playing a Japanese or trans or something person.
Yes, a trans person.
I still come from the camp that actors should be able to act, and I know Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot didn't have what disease was it? It wasn't.
His foot was asleep.
Yeah, he was a retarded gentleman in a wheelchair, and I don't know how.
No, that's what it says on the back of the DVD.
Yeah, it's this Criterion Collection. Daniel Day-Lewis gives us a role of a lifetime as a retarded gentleman in a wheelchair. But it's like I want to see the part of the joy I get is to see how close that actor, how convincing and believable
how
that
retarded he
actor.
could be.
I want to see how fucking retarded Daniel Day-Lewis can be in a role, and I want to give him an Oscar. We gave that guy an Oscar. We shouldn't say we're not. You're absolutely right.
And his left foot is actually fine. I've seen him in real life.
It works.
Yeah, he is.
I have to. Bryce, can you Google it? We need somebody on Google so I don't have to start dropping hard R's here. Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Foot.
Can we just take a brief intermission, because I just took a peek at this next email, and it's brief, but it's very important to me.
Okay, and I don't have social media. I just want to say, so any of these words you're not allowed to say anymore. I know the N word. Was never never said it.
I'll never say it, but I am on record as saying that the word retard should have a comeback.
Well, okay, let's see who this.
With the theme of reality shows driving last episode,
I didn't know it ever left.
I have great news for Jamie. This summer, Big Brother is going to be back on, and it's going to be an all-star season. What? The confirmed housemates are Dan, Derek, Paul, Devon, Tyler, and more. It looks like someone at CBS was like, guys, what's going on? Now they're putting together the most epic, drama-filled, all-star season of Big Brother ever. Oh, my God.
Does that make your clit swell up?
Yes. I'm so horny. Oh, my
That's good news, right? You love that show.
Toss that Viagra,
This
Cutter.
is getting Cutter laid. Congratulations, baby. Big Brother is fucking back. Cerebral palsy.
Bryce, can we take a picture of that? Bryce is holding up a sign right now that says cerebral palsy.
Yeah. I wanted to say cystic fibrosis, but I know that's not right.
Yeah.
Cerebral palsy, guys.
Got it.
Wow.
So it's not cerebral parsley, it's cerebral palsy.
I want to see him play basketball. All right, do we have another?
Yeah, we actually been getting a lot of emails, and I'm glad we're reading them. Read ones that are nice to me.
So I took this year off to figure out what degree I should go after, but I've always been telling myself I want to make some sort of content. Nowadays, I'm finding myself watching tons of podcasts, and I thought it would be cool just for memories and not money. Any pointers going forward in schooling and what the process is like going into each podcast? I'm sorry, there wasn't a lot of punctuation in this email, so that's why I read it that way. Raven Day.
Ooh.
Something. No name, no signature.
Kassem, you gotta answer that because I didn't follow. What happened?
He or she is wanting to possibly make some type of content while they figure out what degree to go after. Any
OnlyFans.
pointers going forward in schooling and what the process is like going into each podcast.
When Kassem usually reads stuff like this or hears this stuff,
I'm
he says they're not from
confused.
America.
He
said this to me before.
Look, in regards to schooling for
it was Larissa.
Dude, this is I'm confused still, but I would say I'm not a big fan of traditional college. I'd say pick a trade school, learn how to weld, and in the meantime have a hobby, make some goddamn money. You're gonna end up in so much student loan debt. Even if you go in for a communications degree or something in broadcasting, more than half of the people that are making it have none of that. They have none of that experience. They have none of those degrees. Joe Rogan does not have a degree in broadcast. Man, I just took a leap there, but maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
Wanna look it up?
Chris D'Elia does not have...
Bryce is holding up a sign that says cerebral palsy again.
Don't talk about Chris D'Elia? Why? What happened? Oh, anyways. Yeah, I'd say just make some money right away. And there's part of me that like, oh, I would go to school. Like right now, I'd go to school to learn how to like code, or like learn how to use Photoshop or like learn how to do stuff like graphic design. That's what I would do.
I'm going to pull that clip for next week. You just said like a lot.
Did I?
And I fucking love it.
Fine.
That's what we got to do. I'm
Whatever.
into it. I mean, that should be... We might have to
Also,
change the
how many
name
times
from
I
Pajama
said
Pants.
clit and swole?
We should change the name of this to Like Pants, the name of the podcast.
Like
Dude,
pants?
Like Pants.
That
With question mark?
that lady who
Pants?
sent that
Pants?
email has so much room in your brain right now. She is occupying.
No, I enjoy it. I knew she did not inform me that I say like a lot. It's
Yeah.
something I've known for
Yeah.
such a long time.
Yeah.
Like forever.
I like you guys how you come. I
Okay.
accept you for who you are and what you say.
Oh, I was somewhere totally different when you said
Mm-hmm.
that.
What's next?
What did Kassem, I want to ask you a question.
Something sexual related.
Cass,
I'm on a roll today.
I'm looking for a sexual question for you.
If they said right now they found a planet that was like Earth, another planet, and
Yeah.
they were sending 20 people there for a year.
Sure.
But you would have to no contact with anyone. You couldn't see your friends, couldn't see your family, dog, everybody. You got to go next week. Would you go?
How long is the flight, the travel?
I don't know, 3 weeks or something. Is that
You may be surprised by this answer, but I would go if I was allowed to stake as much real estate as I could drive around to. You know what I mean? I wanna do what the people did in this country hundreds of years ago, manifest destiny, just start staking claims, and then in 1,000 years, my family will be like the Rockefellers. 100 years. And I would have set up some sort of evil empire.
And everyone will know the name Kassem.
And everyone will
how to
know.
pronounce
Everyone will know
it.
Scott.
Exactly. Welcome to Scotland.
Do you? So Jamie said that she felt like she was always like hard to get to know. Do you feel or hard to get close to?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're hard to get close to kind of guy?
Oh, I'd say, okay, great question. I'd say to get to know 85% of me, super open and ready and willing, open the door. You have access to almost every room in my house. Now, if you want to get into the master bedroom,
I think it's more of a dungeon, but
if you want to get into my dungeon,
To the lair.
we've got you. There's got to be a little extra work. There's got to be some a deeper connection formed before I start letting you into my room, pulling out my sex toys, and for us to go Willy Wonka in the bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
But I think he's talking about it as like a not necessarily like that.
No,
sex.
no, I'm making the analogy
yeah.
sexual.
Was this your hazing experience with him too? Getting close to him?
No, I actually
Rob
kind
had
of.
full access, I think, pretty soon.
That's what I was gonna ask. Where am I on the scale of sex toys? Where am I?
No, you were right away.
Pulling out
pretty,
the pussy pump for Rob right
Yeah.
away?
How stimulated is my clit?
Well, here's the thing with Rob is like what I know about Rob today. I pretty much got right away
Right
from
away.
Rob.
Yeah.
There wasn't
There's
any
no
like
other layer, guys.
I didn't meet Rob and go, man, what a mysterioso. Like I
Right.
got to get
Right.
behind the curtain of this guy. You
And
know?
he's like, "Hey, I'm Scott." I'm like, "I got a shit." You know, that was the whole thing.
There are people that I know that are like that, but I don't. To me, that's having a wall up is like maybe it's okay initially, but if it never comes down or there needs to be a ton of work to like have some sort of regular friendship, it's not worth it with most people. You're very open too.
Well, now, yes, but I think it was more like I was always friendly and like would love to like get close to people, but I wasn't honest enough with myself and my
Sure.
own feelings to allow myself to be as authentic as I like to think I am now. Does that make sense?
It does make
Yeah.
sense. I think that's a big part of it is discovering and being comfortable with who you are. And then when you are, you're just like, oh, yeah, this is who I am. Nice to meet you. I'm Scott. Nice to meet you. You know,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, I don't know, like I'm very confused. I hate my mom. And like, I don't want people to get close to me because they're going to see that I'm kind of a loser.
That
you
was
know?
my thing. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm fine because I thought
I think
if
we
they
all-
saw what I was really struggling
Yeah.
with, they would think less of me.
I'm sure I'm still somewhere in that process, to be honest.
See, for me, like as soon as somebody meets me, pretty much, 100%, but it takes forever for me to trust somebody.
Yes, I
Forever.
would definitely say
Like if I vouch for somebody, people are always like, okay, like there's no like, are you sure or this? Because I'm like, I vouch for like 10 people.
I believe you because
100%.
when we first kind of hung out and then we had that sort of natural end to the hangout where we're both like, yeah, come visit New York. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come visit. And then that's normally where people just stop talking. I booked the flight and I was like, yeah, I'm coming. Here are the days. And then I could tell like we went up. Our relationship went up a notch.
Yeah. Well,
It went-
especially because you're from you're like in LA. I met you in LA. I met him doing a show and he's like, yeah, we should hang out in New York. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, and then I could, even if he was like, hey, I'm going to New York for this thing, let's hang out. It'd be like, oh, cool. But he was like, I'm coming to New York to walk around Central Park with you and Joe. Like just what you guys talk about doing that you guys like to do all the time. I want to come do it. And I was like, oh, Kassem's down. Like Kassem likes to hang out.
Yeah. And
he likes me.
Yeah, Kassem really like those sex toys are coming out.
I gave you instant access.
Scotty like
Robbie. Yeah. All right.
Email?
We have an email?
Hey, Rob, I'm a big fan.
Come
Would you
on.
consider getting back into acting again? With all these new companies, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, etc., creating content, it's a shame we haven't seen you in anything lately. Love you and we miss you. From Titito.
Is it a shame, Rob?
Honestly, I love doing this.
I know you do.
This is what I would love to do, like podcasts. I would love to, I feel like I thought I would like to write a script, and then I wrote a script, and I realized the problem with it was when you write a joke and then you read that joke 4 times, and then a week later you read it again, and then you're telling people, showing it to people, and then people say it to you, and then like after a month of hearing a joke 15 times, I'd be like, that is the worst fucking joke. I hated it. I was like, I can't believe I wrote that. It's terrible. And then you write something and you're like, oh no, this is really funny. And then you put it out there, and sure enough, a month later, you're like, that is so fucking dumb.
Well, that's why writers have read-throughs, though, because they can hear it and they can fix it or think it works.
Once you hear a joke, I feel like if I told you a joke right now that made you laugh, and then I told it to you every day it's like when a dad is like, oh, he always like when somebody meets somebody for the first time, they're like, that guy's so funny, and you're like, oh, my dad, like he tells the same fucking joke because you've heard it so many times, you hate him, but to somebody else, it's like, so it's for me, it was real. Not that I would be good at writing scripts anyway, but when I did,
it's hard
hearing the same thing, the same joke. Do you? Cass, when you did stand-up, do you have anything you could tell us that you remember that was like your, like, oh, this is a fucking great joke. When I say this is fun.
A great joke?
Make me laugh right now.
No, man, it was so long ago. I don't
laugh.
remember. I remember I had a bit about going to the urologist and something about.
This is disappointing right now.
I don't know the joke.
Why is it? You know it.
I don't know the joke, but it was like a story. It was like a story, and there was something about how they didn't label my jar of piss, and then like they put it in this little window, and like I put it in the window. When you open it up, it's a 2-way door thing, and then on the other side was like the break room for like the nurses or whatever, and I'm in the bathroom. I thought I'm just butchering everything here, but there was a joke about that. I don't really have. What's funny? Okay, let me tie this in now. There was a joke that I completely fucked up, and I just realized it recently over this. It
was racist.
Aunt Jemima stuff that's been going on, and Mrs. Buttersworth. When I was doing stand-up, I thought the Aunt Jemima bottle was the Mrs. Buttersworth bottle.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't know the bottle, Aunt Jemima's a regular syrup bottle. Mrs. Buttersworth's bottle is the shape of a housemaid.
It's a good thing you only did comedy for white people.
Right.
No one knew.
I grew up around nothing but whites, so you got white comedy out of me. And I was like, I thought I made the observation that that the syrup was the skin color of Aunt Jemima.
Right.
And I thought that was totally racist, but I completely fucked up the fact that it was a different bottle, it was a different brand, and Mrs. Buttersworth you could see the bottle, and it was the color of the syrup. It was a clear bottle, and I thought that was the Aunt Jemima bottle, and I thought they had been selling that as Aunt Jemima. Like, here's a shapely, house cook woman, and then the syrup is the color of her skin. And I thought that was completely racist. And then I just recently realized I completely fucked that joke up, and I don't understand.
Now you know why it never worked.
Well, none of it, as you can see, none of it really worked.
Oh, I can't believe you never got that Netflix special.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that didn't work out back then. But I also, keep in mind, only did stand up for like 18 months. Yeah. And it was part-time while I was working at Best Buy. I did it on weekends, and I did it at the Laugh Factory a few times and in the Improv, but that was it. I did not have any time to like really develop and become a comedian. I kind of just parlayed into YouTube like right away. So there are, and I had no opportunity to get a following and then start having sex with my fans. Why do you keep holding up that sign, Bryce?
He's
Cerebral
still holding it
palsy?
up, cerebral palsy.
Now it just says CP.
Hi, BJ Pants. I love the podcast. I am constantly laughing at the shit you all say. It's like I'm right there in the conversation. I found out about the podcast after I binged Sopranos last year and have been an avid listener since. Before I ask my question, Rob, I fucking love 90 Day Fiancé. I live for the content they are squeezing out of
Who are
it,
these
so please
people?
keep discussing 90 Days whenever you can.
Yes.
Oh, my main question is for Jamie. I know in earlier podcasts you talked about ayahuasca and your spiritual journey with that. Bad at first, good in the end. I've never tried any psychedelics, but I really want to. I guess I'm so hung up on the possibility I might have a bad trip because I have anxiety, and I don't know if it'll worsen or lessen while on a trip. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, but I would love all your thoughts on this. Thanks for all the laughs, guys. Best, REG. Look, I feel like this is tricky territory because I have been able to find like really heavily vetted people that I have done this with, because of people that I'm super close with have had multiple experiences. So, I can't be like a poster girl for ayahuasca and be like, yes, do it. Has it been life-changing for me? Absolutely. But I think it's something, I don't know, in my life, I found like it's kind of organically found me, like in the right moments. That might be really hippy-dippy to be like, wait for the medicine to call you. But like, I don't know. It's never like I was out seeking it. It kind of just happened the times that I've done it. But I mean, do some more research. Ask people around, and see if it like starts coming up. I personally think that if you are in the right situation and with really experienced people, it can be something really positive.
Yes, great advice.
Thanks.
Here's something I thought about and then I used to try and take a lot of shortcuts. And when I was doing a lot of drugs, I would always be like, well, instead of therapy, I'm just going to go on a mushroom trip.
Sure.
And I think people, when they're considering ayahuasca, should also consider maybe just like talk to a therapist a few times and just see if you get any sort of relief from that. And then if not, maybe, take a trip or two down ayahuasca, lane, or like take.
And by the way, you don't have to start with ayahuasca.
No.
There's baby
by the
steps.
way, and ayahuasca is not like I don't think it's somebody you like come out of it and you're like, I'm healed. They figured it all out.
People are looking for a quick fix.
It's a journey.
Yes.
It's opening doors that you still like. Cutter and I did it together, and it opened a door within our relationship, and we continue to still explore that room that we opened. I'm keeping going with the metaphor. Like it's still a conversation, but the experience, the journey we took together is something we can continue to call back when we feel like we're getting lost in our communication, in our relationship. It's like a touchstone that we have.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's been so beautiful. And
well, I'm glad you said, you
life.
said that, because I don't think it's like, I think some people out there may have just the thought that, oh, all I got to do is puke my guts out for a night, and the next day I'll have some sort of crazy awakening and I'll be better. I think do some therapy, combine it with that, and know that you're always a work in progress.
100%. Or just watch 90 Day Fiancé and feel better about your life.
Yeah. I mean, I've done.
That's what Rob does.
Yeah. I've done enough drugs to fill this room up a few times, I think. And when I would do like psychedelics, mushrooms, stuff like that. I'm not recommending anything, but I'm just saying from what's made my experiences best, like some of the most important things. First thing is shutting your phone off.
Oh, yes.
That is the most important thing when you're going to do. So, and by the way, if I'm just talking about me, if I was going to go back and do something, I think I would try mushrooms first before ayahuasca, because also you could really control it, like with mushrooms, if you had to. Like
They're pretty wild. They're pretty mild, and they
By the
also
way,
shorter.
You know, when I did it, it was a milder form of ayahuasca mixed with a mushroom.
Right.
Oh hell yeah!
So it was, and it felt much like I remembered everything, so it was just more of like a beautiful experience as opposed to like puking, things like that. So yes, but I agree. I think mushrooms is like a gentler psychedelic.
Yeah, I think that was the first psychedelic I did, even though they were super hard to get. But I think wearing extremely comfortable clothes, having like really straight up like pajama pants, if you can
we
be
gotta
around.
come out with a line of pajama pants for
I know.
the beach.
Dude, Rob's a man to talk to. He spent $175 for some chick to custom make him some joggers.
I know.
Well, because
This guy's
listen,
obsessed with comfort.
but I wear them every day, so if you.
He's also the guy that turned me on to comfort.
Yeah, this guy wore very.
Feel
uncomfortable
these.
stuff.
I'm straight comfort today.
Feel
What
these.
are these? Oh, they're not jeans.
They're not jeans. I have, since becoming friends with Rob, have really realized that jeans.
I feel like those would be tight on me if I put them on.
Are you saying? What are you saying? You're a body shamer.
Wow, you.
I guess
yeah.
it's payback for saying you have a fat pussy earlier, but
Kassem's gonna have to do ayahuasca next week.
I
now.
don't
get me
remember
outta
you
here.
saying that, but thank you. By the way, quick note, I love this is not a sponsor, but I love these Lenny and Larry's cookies when like I have to grab shit on the go to eat. And do you know that I saw in Colt's kitchen, he has like a huge bowl
Colty?
full of them. He
Yeah,
should
you're
have a
not supposed
segment.
to eat 12 a day, Colt.
we
Well,
should
no,
have a
it's like-
segment of things we like that aren't sponsored.
Yeah, so I think being the people you're around is probably the most important thing.
Oh,
Like,
atmospheres.
Yeah,
everything.
you want to be somewhere you're like. Some people are like, I went with one friend and two people I didn't know to Six Flags and took mushrooms for the first time. It's like chill.
Yeah.
Chill with that. You don't want. You want.
Be
'cause
outside,
You
too.
might.
Do
might
not stay
throw up
indoors.
if possible. You want somewhere that has indoor
See
and
nature.
outdoor. You want indoor outdoor possibilities. You want both, because some people are like, I can't be outside. I can't be outside right now because some people will get a little,
Yeah, Lindsay would try microdosing for a while, and then she would do it right before bed in her bedroom, and she's like, I hated it. I was like, yeah, because you're doing it right before bed. She ended up taking too much, ended up tripping out in her dark room by herself.
Really.
Yeah. No wonder.
You know what I kind of judge people on is I'll be like, I'd love to take mushrooms with them.
Yeah.
Like that's sometimes like a vibe that I pick up on people.
Yeah.
I bet you I know his friend Tony, right? He seems like a dude you'd want to take mushrooms with.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's on my bucket list.
Yeah. He seems
I'll let
like
Tony know.
He seems
I
like
don't
a
think
real.
he'd be down to do that.
He
though,
does.
right?
I don't think he does drugs.
No, he doesn't do drugs.
My 16th
He
birthday.
can still be there.
I think it was.
Oh, just make me laugh,
Yeah.
please, Tony.
I think it was 16 or it might have been my 17th birthday. We all got mushrooms and went to a hotel, and it was fucking crazy. I had a moment in an all-white bathroom with 3 of my friends that still sometimes to this day, when I go into an all-white bathroom, it kicks in. Like I'm like I had a moment where, so I took 2/8 because it was my birthday, and I was like, I really want to fucking, and I ate like so.
At
Oh my
once,
God.
you took 2
Yeah.
weeks?
See, I'll never understand that. If you know a little bit gets you fucked up, why
A little
do
bit
you...
never gets me. I always have to. I'm always except
He doesn't
for
want to
like,
waste time waiting for it to kick in. He wants to know it's going to kick
Besides
in.
when I first started taking ecstasy, any other drug I ever did, I came out of the gate just fucking
Yeah.
doing so much. But the first time I took ecstasy, I remember I took like 1 or 2 and was like, oh, but everything else was always super heavy duty. And we came into a white bathroom and they had a gift for me that was, remember when Steve-O came out with his own videotape and he was doing like the craziest shit ever? I think it was like in between the Jackass show or something, and he was doing wild shit on it. And my friends knew I wanted it forever, but they wrapped it in, gotta love my friends. There was no wrapping paper, but they took tinfoil and wrapped it up. So they shut the door of the bathroom, so it was just the four of us, and it was all white. And I remember feeling like there was nothing. And it was like in the Matrix, where like it was just like whew,
Waiting for program to load.
yeah. And I remember looking around and being like, "Holy shit!" And then all of a sudden, she pulled out of her bag this box that was wrapped in tinfoil, and I was like. What is that? And she was like, it's for you. And I was like, oh my. And there was just this moment we had that was like, holy shit. And she's like, open it. And I was like, I don't want to. Like, it was this whole crazy thing. And I remember opening it, and it was just so, it's a memory I'll never forget. And it was, sometimes when I go into a bathroom, and it's all white, it hits me. Yeah, where I'm like, oh, like I lose my footing a little, and I'm like, oh, am I tripping? Like I can't. It's those were the good old days.
Yeah,
I can't do anything
Isn't it weird
anymore.
that you and I have never? I mean, I haven't done many drugs in my life. You know, like I didn't smoke weed till I was 34. But I think it's so weird of all the times and all the memories and all the experiences we have together, and that was like a very large part of your life that you and I never did that together.
I think you've definitely seen me on Molly. Like Molly would be no problem, but I think doing shrooms might be weird with you because I don't like the thought of Sopranos when I'm like on that.
What do you mean you don't like the thought of it?
Like if I was ever on mushrooms and somebody's like, "Oh, Sopranos, this," like I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to talk about that. Like I want to be like, in this fantasy world. I
texted you that I had this weird thing. I'm watching it for the first time. I'm in the third season now. And I had, like, it hit me and I almost started crying as I looked at Cutter and I was like, I actually know why I'm enjoying this so much as like I'm enjoying the content and the show, but I also know why I'm enjoying it so much because I love watching me move. It's the only, like, to have actual, like, footage of me like pre-MS and like it was like a boulder. I was like, holy fuck. Like it was so crazy, almost to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can watch it anymore. Because and then it almost made me feel like I loved acting so much until the MS started to affect me, and then it was all about my physicality and nothing about the work. And even to this day, even when people knowing about it, like, and it was like, I don't like acting anymore because I only like doing it that way. I only liked doing it the first 3 seasons. Then when all this shit is when it became hard for me and like different and weird. And I'm like, feel like I'm in this like life moment, like decision-making moment where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore because I love that so much and I don't have that anymore.
Your instrument was easier to use back then.
Completely.
And it was like you didn't have to think about it. Now it takes more work.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's worth it.
I think it is worth it for you because you actually have talent, and I think it would be a complete waste for you to.
But I'm also
just
like,
different
I
now.
think maybe also in this time of like quarantine and everything, where I'm like, hummo, right?
Priorities
also,
are different.
Too,
Your family is close.
And I feel very safe in my home.
Sure.
I don't care. I'm not insecure about how I move, anything. It's only when it comes to this business do I start to get insecure or self-conscious. And I don't know if that's healthy for me or not.
But
I just opened a big bag of shit.
No, I mean, that's good.
I didn't mean to.
You feel like because it's not only with the business, right? Because you do feel like you're an inconvenience. Like when you told the story on Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, right?
Like if my friends go and do it, like concerts and stuff, like I usually back out because I'm like, I don't want someone to have to walk back with me. But but I get over that sometimes. I try and push myself past that. But
I want to do shrooms with whoever your friend is that said that to you. Who said that to you? That's
she's
such
the best.
Ugh.
She's the best.
That's such a. So what did she say to you? Just so people know what
she
we're
was
talking
like,
about.
it's an honor to like carry you on my back. Like you don't. She's like, because I always feel like I don't bring anything to the table. Like here's actually what I got in my last ayahuasca trip was I was like, I think what's special about me is that when I enter a room, I look at everybody and I see what is special about you and I will celebrate it till the fucking end of the world. Like, and I will make sure that you feel that from me. I will make sure that you know that I think you're fucking awesome because I do feel that about everyone that I meet. And I feel like I don't know what I bring? Like, what is special? Is that special? Because it feels like such a like meek little quality.
Oh, somebody that people want to be around all the time.
Well, that makes you feel good, but
Somebody who
it
people
doesn't feel like a
not-
strong quality.
Not
Do you
just
know what I mean?
want to be around, but
I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I
I'm
just
still trying
don't
to work
agree
through
with it.
I appreciate it. Well, my
Yeah.
friends were saying that to me basically.
But
Like,
it's-
you make us happy. You make us feel safe. You don't make us feel judged.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that will be my legacy one day. I'm thrilled, but I
be
also
part of
want to
your
feel
legacy.
good about myself. And a lot of times with this business, like, I don't, because it's just so muddy. Like,
Sure.
you know, and I don't know. I really don't know if I want to do it anymore for that reason.
But it's such a great quality you have that you're not just somebody who people want to be around. You're also somebody who people want to be more like. Like people always say that, right? To you, don't you feel that? Like, it's like, oh, I wish I was more like Jamie. Where like
No.
I really?
Oh,
I definitely do. Like I see even when we're talking about something, like you just never, like such a big thing for me that I felt like I was making progress in, that I feel like I'm coming backwards during Corona, is like being calm, not escalating thing. Like as soon as somebody says something to me, me wanting to just react with like and like shut it down, and instead of listening and being like, okay. But spending these 3 months alone, I feel like I'm going backwards. Where like I'm shorter with people. I don't have the whatever it is. I just that part isn't as open as
well, you
it
haven't
was.
needed to exercise it. You haven't had to really talk to anybody else.
Right, but I feel like you are always. I never feel you shutting people down. I never feel you
Never.
getting right. That's such an amazing quality that you have. That's like, holy shit! Imagine being like that. Like I'm just so. No, shut up. Like, you know, like that's what my brain
Yeah,
goes
but
to.
I see things about you that I wish I could be. I mean, we all have, you know.
Right, but you were saying you don't feel like you have.
I just don't feel like I have a strong quality I bring to the room. Like my friend Nikki, it's like the most fun. She fucking lives life to the fullest, and like I love being around her. My other friend Lindsay, she's just always like smart and witty and funny, and like I'm like, what do I bring to the table? She's so sweet. Like that's it. Like it's not very exciting.
I would say the fact that you're not considering it strong is like totally subjective, and I would
Yeah.
consider what you bring to a room as a strong quality, which is like immense empathy, like the ability to, like you said, look at someone and celebrate what you like about that person. Because I think I may have the opposite.
Yeah,
where I
me too.
I will see things I hate about a person, and
Yep.
then
I celebrate that. I do.
There used to be, I don't think I really do this anymore, but there used to be a part of me where I would walk into a room and like see somebody that I don't even know, see something I don't like about him, and then imagine me telling and having an argument with that person
about it.
because I could see that what that person wouldn't like about me, and then I know what I don't like about that person, and then this person I've never met, I haven't ever talked to, now in my head I'm having this fucking argument in my head about. I don't think I'm there anymore. However,
I don't think you're like that.
that is, you know, what you're saying about having it be strong. I think that's strong is like can be used in so many different ways.
You're right. No, totally.
You are such a
appreciate you
treat.
saying
No,
that.
and
That's
if you
so nice
if you
of
heard what we say about you on our car rides to and
Please,
from the
record it.
podcast.
Yeah, he's like
no.
that fat puss.
Oh god, her puss so fat.
No,
we are
no,
talking
we-
about Rob.
Definitely an episode I will not let.
No,
my
speaking
husband
about
listen to.
cars though.
But wait, I don't know when your name comes up. The first thing people say
I
always
can
is
never
like,
do a segue.
it's like, oh my god, you have to meet you have to meet Jamie. You would love Jamie. Like, everybody always says that. That's like the best. You know what I mean? Like
And
people
look,
are like, oh, Jamie,
again,
she's the best.
I appreciate that, and in the end of the day, like that's what I would love people to remember me by, is like that they. I mean, you know, I'm like, one of the things I work on is like not caring if people like me or not, because I care so much if people like me or not,
Yeah.
because I don't
Right.
want
I like
people
it.
to ever feel bad around me, I guess is where it's coming from.
Right.
But anyway,
I had to sneeze.
I didn't mean to make it such like a heavy thing, but it was something I wanted to bring up to you because it did feel like super crazy to have that like epiphany when I was watching it, being like,
Have you ever
That's-
played a
I-
role with a character with MS? You have,
You
right?
know, my girlfriend that's but like not really.
I think-
but my girlfriend that's a casting director, because I was talking to her about this,
Yeah.
and she was like, James, I just think maybe you just need to find the right thing where, and I was like, I don't know, but like, does it make an audience uncomfortable to watch somebody with a limp all the time if it's not a movie about the limp? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
my
no.
left foot.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
No,
if
no,
it's not
we're past
about
that.
the disability, do
No.
people want to watch that? I don't know. If,
No,
like,
it's about the character.
I'm
And
not disabled enough.
And it brings
like,
more
I don't
to the
know.
like, oh, why is she limping? Like, I want to watch
Every
I like
character-
But then you
her.
got to watch her every week like that.
Hey,
I don't
You're
know.
just a character who has MS. You're not.
Listen, if
I
Big,
love
an
it.
MS character.
if Big Ed could do it, Jamie, if Big Ed could be on TV, you can do it. Because
culty.
Because I
If-
was raised Catholic-olicky.
here's my question:
Catholic-olicky.
if Jamie was your girlfriend, would she have to wear this all the time, Cass?
Can you just see my eyes?
Yeah.
Why? Because I come from a Muslim country.
I didn't mean that. I meant because you're so it's COVID-19.
You guys have
You
to
know
pee
what?
so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is fucking bullshit. And don't bring that over here, okay?
Oh, that's Rob's.
Look, you're gonna get a car. Rob is thinking about a Tesla, Mercedes, or BMW or Audi.
Little teaser.
To
No,
lease,
Mercedes,
not
let me
to
help
buy.
you.
There's a website where you could take somebody's lease off their hands, so
Yeah.
it's like $299 for a year for a Mercedes. I'm like,
Let Rob
mm.
know. You can send him a DM on Instagram's Pajama Pants Instagram because he's been answering them
Yeah, on the way home.
personally
I love
I
it.
answer
on the way home. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Man, today I'm gonna chalk up today as a loss
got
for
it.
me.
You got
Hit the notification bell so you know when the new episodes are up. It's every Tuesday morning, and the podcast is up as every Monday morning on the audio. And that's it.
Thank you guys as always.
Love ya.